everyone, welcome back. My name is Anya, and today I'm going to be bringing you my 30-week pregnancy update. One of my third trimester resolutions was to actually become more active. Well, this week I actually started taking walks in the morning, and I typically walk somewhere around one more or less miles every morning. I really enjoy the time that I get to spend by myself just on my walks. At the beginning of the week, I was actually listening to some praise music, but now I've actually been incorporating some podcasts that are really inspirational and very motivational. I really have enjoyed them a lot. I typically just put my timer for about 30 minutes and continue to walk until the timer goes off. And I get a little bit of a sweat, nothing too crazy because my belly is quite large right now, so I can't move around too much. But I do, kind of push myself to make sure that I get that in every morning, and it's so much better than not. One of the interesting things that has happened to me this week is that I have started to get a little bit turned off by the salads that I typically make myself on a daily basis. So as you know, I usually make myself about a salad a day, and I say a salad, but it doesn't include any actual lettuce because it has tomatoes and it has mozzarella cheese, and it also has avocados and onions, and I drizzle it with a little bit of maple syrup. I put balsamic vinegar and Himalayan pink salt. I think it's delicious. But this week, for some reason, at the beginning of the week, I was kind of like, I don't know. I'm not feeling it too much, which I was very surprised about because I've been eating it so much during this pregnancy and I really have enjoyed it a lot. And I think it's, delicious and nutritionally filling as well. I was like, I wonder what that's all about. But at the end of the week, I was fine with it. I just haven't had it every single day like I have had it in the past. I've had it maybe every other day. And so I'm taking it a little bit easier on that. I haven't experienced any really dramatic food aversions this whole pregnancy, but I think that, kind of taking it easy might help. So I had my regular gynecologist appointment this week and my blood pressure was doing great. I actually do generally have low blood pressure, and it was 112/70, which she said was perfect. She put the Doppler on my belly and measured the baby's heartbeat, and it was at 156 beats per minute. And that was very similar to what it was last week when I went to my other ultrasound appointment, which was at 155. So she's maintaining basically the same type of heart rate. This week I actually had to go with Sebastian into the doctor's office, and he did such an amazing job. He really did such a good job, behaving so well while we were there. I mean, Sebastian is 18 months old. He's just a 1.5-year-old that wants to see everything, touch everything, explore everything. And he did such a good job just sitting there and waiting for me to get recognized in my belly, and the doctor was touching it and he was just looking at the whole thing happening what in the world. But he wasn't going all rambunctious and crazy, which I thought was so good. So at the doctor's appointment, I was weighing in at 148.8. And of course, that was in the middle of the day. I had all my clothes on and all that other stuff. I'm giving myself excuses here. She said that I'm progressing good in terms of my weight, and that she's very happy with how all of that is going as well. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that now that I'm 30 weeks pregnant, she says she has to see me every 2 weeks instead of every 4 weeks. And when she said that, I was kind of caught off guard. I mean, this is my second pregnancy and I knew it was coming, but it really was wait, what? Now I have to come every 2 weeks? That's crazy. I am literally in the final stretch here. I am 3/4 of the way done, and in potentially less than 10 weeks, this baby could arrive, which is crazy. So she was touching my belly and feeling everything out to see where everything was. And she did tell me that it seemed to be that the baby was still head down. She did tell me it was still early in the game though. She could still move around up to 34 weeks because there's enough room for her to just wiggle around. But like I said last week, I really hope that since she's been able to find this position now, I'm hoping that she's able to find it again in the future when it does come time to go ahead and push her out. So I noticed on Monday evening that my feet were actually a little bit swollen. And this is definitely not something that I had noticed any other time before during my pregnancy. And I was a little bit concerned because I said, well, I think it's still too early to actually have my feet be swollen. But when I spoke to the doctor, she did confirm that it was normal, especially since I've been doing a lot more activity than I was doing for the first 3/4 of my pregnancy. And since I'm walking now and I'm staying a little bit more active, she said I was more prone to get swollen especially in the evenings. She did say that two of the things that I could do to kind of combat that swollenness was to sleep with my feet up and to also just eat with a lot less salt. Which is a little bit difficult for me right now because I've been craving so many like savory snacks, specifically the sweet and salty Boom Chicka Pow popcorn. Oh my goodness, I could have a bowl of that every single day. And my friends, I have never, ever been a popcorn type of person, ever. And for some reason, I went to Costco a couple of weeks ago. I bought one of those like gigantic family size bags. And when I was checking out, they said to us, you know, these are buy one, get one free, right? Do you want the second one? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. So we went and we got the second bag, and I've probably eaten like 95% of what has been consumed out of those two bags. And we bought them like a month ago. I mean, it's so delicious. So in terms of my belly, it definitely feels like it's been stretching out so much. My skin is feeling itchy and I want to scratch so badly. It kind of reminds me of that episode of Friends when Phoebe and her boyfriend had chicken pox and they kind of covered all of their hands with oven mitts so that they couldn't scratch. So they started rubbing up against each other to like ease that itch. I do have this like dry brush that I recently bought and I haven't used it too much because I'm not sure about the effects that it would have like on a pregnant person. I'm not sure if it's like the safest thing to do right now. So I've kind of been holding off, but I am guilty of taking it one day and like running it, you know, really softly and gently across my belly, specifically around the belly button area, because it really does feel like it's stretching out so much. And my belly button is still flat. It hasn't actually popped out. It actually never even popped out with my first pregnancy. But now I could definitely see like, you know, skin that was on the inside of it. It's definitely exposed. I think that I'm definitely stretching. The baby is growing and things are happening, and you know, that's why I have all the itchiness. But I am trying to make sure that I don't scratch, mainly because I don't want to give myself stretch marks. And I also know that stretch marks are genetic as well. I didn't get not one stretch mark with Sebastian, and right now I'm 30 weeks in and I have not gotten not one with this pregnancy either. I know that, like I said, I think that's also mainly genetics, but I've lathered myself every single night with my DIY body lotion that I make with my essential oils. I put lavender in there, I put frankincense in there, which are really good to nourish the skin, and it's been working out great. My body feels super moisturized. I don't feel itchy after I put it on because I feel so like nice and plumpy. I love it so much, but I'm definitely being very conscious of the fact that I cannot scratch when I'm itchy. About the linea negra, I don't know if that's how specifically you say it, but I think you know what I mean when I'm saying it. You get this like black line going down your belly. I experienced that the last time with Sebastian. I'm not sure at what month or what week I first started seeing it, but now that I'm 30 weeks, I only see like the little bit, like the tiniest bit of shadow in that area where it used to be like really dark before, and now it's just like a little shadow of nothing. So I don't know if it's going to continue to get darker as the weeks go on, but I thought that was interesting that I haven't seen it at all this time around. This week, the doctor also gave me the hospital registration forms, and I was like, I already delivered in the hospital. What do you mean I have to register again? But she said apparently I have to do the whole thing again. The only thing that I do not have to do is actually go for the tour. I mean, I've already given birth in the place. I know how things work. But yeah, I thought it was like, oh my goodness. I mean, all of this time has gone super fast. And I feel like every single one of these updates is going to be like, oh my god, can you believe how fast time has gone by? I mean, it just feels like it was yesterday where we were discussing the possibility of us even trying to go ahead and have a baby, and now we're here. So at the end of my appointment, she also asked me if I was planning on breastfeeding, and I did tell her my experience with Sebastian, and I definitely told her that I intended to go ahead and do it with this baby as well. She recommended that I come in and see a breastfeeding consultant, which I suspect is actually the same one that helped me out the last time with Sebastian, even though I was in another practice back then. I definitely don't find the harm in going in and talking to her all over again, because things might have changed. You know, she might have other tactics and other things. You know, I had a really tough time with Sebastian initially. I actually suffered from a lot of pain, probably well into the first month and a half of his life, which I think is actually not normal. People usually experience pain the first few days or weeks, like two, maybe three. But I was like a month and a half in and I was still crying about it. I mean, I persisted because he was gaining weight, because he was thriving. He seemed to be able to get nourishment out of it, but I was in pain. Like, it was intense. And soon after that, I was able to like really find myself within the whole practice of breastfeeding, and it just was phenomenal after that. I know that every baby is different. I have full intentions of applying everything that I learned with Sebastian with this baby, but you know, it's really a wild card when you're dealing with a whole new human being. And so I'm definitely being very respectful of that, and I'm embarking on the idea again that I have to consult with all of the professionals to give myself the best chances available to be successful at breastfeeding as well. So now I have an appointment with this breastfeeding consultant this week, and I am looking forward to that and seeing what she has to say, sharing with her my experience with Sebastian, and also going ahead and getting some tips, maybe great tricks that she could give me with my new baby. My intentions are to breastfeed my baby girl all the way through her first year at least, just like I did with Sebastian, and then take it from there after the first year is up. I know that it would be ideal for me to continue, but nutritionally speaking, after a year, they really do get a lot more of their nutrients from their solid food, and breast milk is a good supplement to have, but it is a supplement on top of the actual solid food that they're getting. Sebastian went all the way up to almost 14 months. And I thought that was great, and hopefully I can do at least the same with our baby girl. So in terms of the baby's development, she's actually the size of about a head of broccoli right now, and she's weighing at around 3 pounds, which when I say that and I compare it to the amount of weight that I have on my body right now, I'm like, oh my goodness. But I do know that, of course, the weight that I have gained is because of a variety of different things. Like, I have more blood in my body, and honestly, I haven't even lost hair in like 6 months. And I feel like my hair is so heavy that that's probably a couple of more pounds as well. But the baby's only 3 pounds, and according to all of my research, she's actually going to be gaining at around a half a pound every single week from now until birth. So that's really exciting. She's also losing all of the fuzz that they have on their body, to kind of like keep them warm and protected when they didn't have all that, you know, fat on their fat cells on their body. But now she's building fat. Now she's getting a little bit more plump, and so she's losing all that fuzz. She is moving a lot. She is very active in my belly. I mean, I feel her all of the time, morning, noon, night, overnight. This week actually was like about, I don't know, maybe 5:30 in the morning, and she was poking me on my side. I think she was like kicking or like trying to stretch or something. I'm not sure. And I just grabbed Santiago's hand and I put it on there just so that he could feel it from the outside. He was like, wow, that's intense. Another thing that's happening to her physically is that her brain is becoming a little bit more wrinkly, and I read that that's because it's making room for more brain tissue inside her head. So it becomes more wrinkly, just like we're used to seeing an actual brain be. Up to this point, it was just like a smooth surface. The other thing that I read was that she is actually growing fingernails right now. It's very interesting because right up until this point, I've had great fingernails myself. And because I've started doing all of the work around the house to get ready for her, all of them have chipped off, all of them have broken off. It's been a mess. But now she's growing her little fingernails, which I'm sure are going to be beautiful and wonderful. And someday we'll go and get manicures together. So now I'm going to be showing you my belly. So here's my 30-week belly. I can't believe it, but it's true. It's here. It's here to stay, at least for another 10 weeks. So what about you? Are you pregnant? What week are you on? What symptoms are you experiencing? I would love for you to share them with me in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already. Give this video a like, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!